This is the makeup look that you will be doing if you are going to run into anyone that has ever done you wrong in your entire life. It could be an ex, it could be a old friend, it could be an old boss. This is a look that I would definitely want to be caught in, running into somebody that I despise with a passion. So I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna show you how I did it, and it wasn't that bad. Trust me, I promise it wasn't that hard.
You got this?
Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna start with is I'm gonna use my, Korean balm that really hydrates the fuck out of my dry face. Oh my god, that's shaking. I hope that does not fall. It's always me and a shaky camera. It's not me if it's not a shaky camera. But yeah, I'm just kind of putting that everywhere that gets kind of dry for me. So like under my eyes, I am gonna go like on my forehead, because this look needs to be the most perfect look that you're ever gonna do in your life. And I'm taking it like on my like lower jawline part, doing my laugh lines. Yeah, and I'm just kind of getting this everywhere. And then now I'm just going right over top of it with the pink one. And honestly, doing this makeup look and not like shaking so much is really hard. Like, Jesus, get me through this shit, because I didn't really have anywhere else to film, so. Chin, again, laugh lines. Laugh lines is the biggest thing. I get really dry in my laugh lines and this like lower part of my face. I don't know why. So yeah, now that I just like smeared that all over the place, now I can go in with my foundation. And I'm using like fuller coverage, like more matte foundation, because I feel like for revenge makeup, it's gotta be on point. And I feel like, glowy makeup, it's giving very like,
Cute and casual.
like every day. And then also my skin is a little splotchy right now. Like I have this big blotch. You can't really see it anymore. But like there was like this big blotch like above my eyebrow because I was plucking my brows, and for some reason my face was like, after I did that and just wanted to stay red for like 12 years. And then somebody told me that the closer you are to like, if depending on where your cycle is, your face can like react differently to like, being like threaded or plucked or whatever. At first I thought she was cuckoo, but honestly after that exhibit, I think she might be onto something. Oh. So I'm gonna try not to shake the whole place. And by place, I mean my bed, because I'm sitting in my bed doing this. Oh, yeah. Let's try to hold that. That made it worse. Okay, after beating my face and no upper lip later, I'm gonna conceal the fuck out of these under eyes. I'm so tired. I had a flight today, and girl, I got no sleep. So we gotta cover all that because we're trying to look perfect, like I said. And I'm going to like cut this up because I want my eyes to look very cut up. Beautiful, just like that. And then on the nose, you already know. Wherever else you want to go. Sexy shit. Yeah, see, and just like that, that concealer took care of all my problems. Like all she needed was a little concealer. All she needed was a little concealer. And now I'm going to contour, and I'm actually going to skip bronzer today because we don't want to be warm toned, because warm toned is giving very friendly, it's giving very approachable, very cutesy, and that's not what we're going for. We're giving for very cold, we're giving very like, don't talk to me, bitch. Okay, let's go here. And I'm taking this up actually a little higher than I normally do. Like I usually contour like a little bit lower, but I want this to be kind of high up. And just like a little bit here on the forehead, not too much. Obviously the nose, because I want my nose to be super perfect, super pointed, super skinny, super breathe, which I actually can't half the time. Now we're gonna contour your lips. You even understood a word I just said. Once again, the blending portion probably gonna take out because the shakiness is just it's making me angry. It's making me angry. So yeah, I took that higher up than I usually do, and you could do that thing where it like kind of like comes down like this. I'm not gonna do that because I kind of look like a horse when I do that, and if I'm trying to do the best revenge makeup look, I don't want to look like a horse. I want to look like a badass. I'm just blending everything else out with my finger because it's like a little bit more precise. Just got like the underneath the lip part. I don't really, yeah, I like that shadow. And this part is gonna look crazy until you're done. So just, it's okay if you look a little insane. Like you have kind of a chocolate milk mustache or just a regular mustache. Like you could totally put on less product than I did. I just wanted to look super pouty and like in your face. I like that. I know it's like kind of ridiculous to see somebody blend so much of their contouring out with their finger, but if there's one thing about me is I like to make everything as simple as possible. I don't like to use like too many things because I am
really lazy,
to tell you the truth. So if I could simplify anything, I'm gonna simplify it. And for me, simplifying things means using my fingers a lot of the times instead of actually using brushes, because I always get super overwhelmed if I see too many brushes or like too many tools. I mean, obviously, like if I'm like doing somebody else's makeup, it's a different story. I'm gonna use like things. I'm not just gonna like blend shit out with my fingers. It'd be ridiculous. But like,
I just I like everything to like be simple.
I know that the lip contour, it looks crazy right now. I know, okay, I know. But don't worry. It's gonna come together at the end. Okay, so now for blush. I don't want to do too much blush. I want this look to not be like super blushy because again, blush looks very cute, looks very inviting, looks very innocent and sweet. So I'm going to combine like some, darker blushes, but not too much, just a
Smidgen, okay?
I'm actually going to use this little sample. I got this from like the YSL event. Like, if you guys remember, there was that whole YSL event where you could get your like name engraved, that one. And then I'm going to mix the smallest smidge of this Strawberry Cream Huda Beauty blush, and I'm going to just use like a really small bit because I am pretty fair. I've mentioned this before, but like it's kind of like, this is a dark blush. Like this is not really like very fair skin friendly. I think it looks a little too dark, so that's why I'm just gonna use
the smallest dot.
Watch me paint my face with this. Okay, just like boom. Okay, there, that's it. And I want to keep my blush like more diagonal. I don't want to do like it next to each other, and I don't want it to bring it too far in because I want this look to be very like, pulled back and intimidating. So I'm even gonna keep the blush off my nose. I love how I said intimidating, and I
am not intimidating.
So yep, I'm gonna put this away, and then I'm gonna add
the littlest bit
of that little berry-ish one. I'm telling you guys, you're gonna look like a hottie. Fun fact, I should be in school right now, but I'm not in school. I skipped. Okay, you see that? Like very little.
Very little.
Now I'm just gonna, again, blend with my fingers. Ugh, this is so annoying. Excuse all that shenanigans. Okay, now that that's there, I'm gonna do something that's crazy and insane
for me
because this is not a typical step in my makeup routine ever. I'm so afraid of powders, but I'm actually gonna set this. I know, crazy. With my Laura, that girl, Laura Mercier. I'm gonna set this because I want this to be really matte and I want this to last so long. This is brand new. I want this to last so long because they can't catch us slipping. What can I say? So we're gonna pray for the best, and I'm not gonna put on too much because I'm still a wee bit terrified of setting powders and stuff because I look cakey as fuck
so easily.
So I have to be so careful. So those like little velvety powdery puff thingies, like I have this little baby mini one that's like,
don't make a mistake
one. Yeah, so we're gonna try this and we're gonna see if this works for me, and if it does, then I may become a set your face kind of girl with powder. messy. I'm just putting it right there. I already don't like the mess that it's making everywhere. Okay. Okay.
Did that.
This is like probably the third time I'm attempting this, because all the other times I like attempted it, which was like 2 other times, and it just did not work. And I was like, yeah, no. Goodbye. Never doing that again. But I also want to take it up to my nose because remember,
We don't want to breathe.
and this is getting all over my pants. That's fucking crazy. I'm kind of scared. I feel like I don't want to do too much. And I'm just going to keep it right there because I don't really have a problem with like other places. Like, you know what? That is such a big fat lie. Let me set these smile lines too. Why is like nothing on there? Put more. Cool. That looks like a baking accident. Okay, now it looks a little bit like baking accident on both sides. So it looks a little bit more cohesive.
If I'm gonna fuck up one place, I gotta fuck up another, you know?
The rest of the goods can be saved. And I'm actually just gonna let that sit. Wow, that feels so weird. Is this how people feel when they bake?
Feels so weird.
I feel like my skin's tight. Okay, so I'm gonna like leave that for a little bit, and then I'm gonna like do my eyes, and then I'm gonna brush it all off. Now, once again, making things simple. I'm gonna just like use probably one brush, to be honest. And I'm just going in with like, you know, any like nudie brownie color. And I want this to be like up, you know? But I am so stupid. I forgot to do my brows. Let me do my brows first. I'm actually just wipe this shit off because I'm gonna do my brows and I don't want this to sit for too long. And then I'm gonna do my eyeshadow. See, this step...
Threw everything off.
I actually like it. Okay, so now I'm gonna do my brows, okay? And, okay, right now I'm going through something with my brows where I'm still sort of in this awkward stage of trying to decide really what I want to do with them. But for this look, we're just gonna focus on making sure that they're kind of like a longer brow that does not go down. I want it to kind of like go like, you know, like longer, but like foxy, kind of. And so what I would do for a long time is I would actually shave off the tail of my brow because I felt like it gave my brow that like very like lifted look naturally, because my brows like really go down naturally. So I was like getting rid of the tail of my brow, and now I'm sort of kind of growing it back in. My brows are like really not like this naturally. Like my brows are very thick, they're very voluptuous, full, and all of that. But they drive me crazy, so I thin them the out. So, yeah, I like a thin brow on my face because my face looks very like top heavy, you know what I'm saying? Like if my brows are all fully grown in, it just looks very top heavy, and I feel like it just kind of throws the balance of my face off. But I'm kind of liking the tail again. Saying I like the tail without any like context is like really a funny thing to say. But I'm kind of liking it because it makes my brows like, you know, longer. Still not really fully decided how I feel on it, and I usually always do my brows off camera, but I just had so much to say about my brows, and I feel like speaking about my brows out loud helps me decide what I want to do with my brows. Also, my brows are so wildly different. Like, it's just how they are. Like, this one slants down more. It's like more like arched than this one is, so it's so annoying. It's like I want to like lift it up a little bit to like get them to be more even, but I have to like thicken the crap out of the top of this brow, and it drives me crazy because then it like looks stupid. So I have to try to find like a happy medium,
You know?
and I don't always carve my brows, but I really want to do that for this look because also too my brows don't even look like they're friends. So
Yeah.
okay, so I'm pretty happy with them. They still look, you know, as good as it's gonna get right now. And now I can jump into my eyeshadow. Freaking over eager to do my eyeshadow. Continuing where we left off with the eyeshadow before I was rudely interrupted by my bald brows. So yeah, I'm just going in with like a neutral shade just to kind of, you know, make all like the little deeper colors easier to blendy blend. And yeah, I'm not like doing like too much with this. The eyes, I kind of want them like smudgy and dark and smoky, but not like over the top and too much. And yes, I did talk a lot of shit about makeup trends online and how people just kind of are like boring with them. But this one, I actually do not think that this one is boring because revenge makeup is so different depending on who you ask. Like, your version of revenge makeup could be completely different than mine. And this is just my take. And this is a take that I do consistently. I do kind of consistently see this, but I feel like I see people putting like different little spins and stuff on it, and I love it. It's just so fun and it's like creative, I think, with this idea of revenge makeup. So now I just like laid that down. Ideally, like the coolest colors is gonna be what I want for this look. So now I'm just gonna like go straight in with a gray, and I'm keeping it high up. And once again, I'm just using the same brush. Like, I'm not doing all this switchy mitchy. Okay, so if you can see that shape that I just did, that was kind of completely accidental, but I sort of really love it. So I'm gonna play off that same shape. So I know I said I'm not gonna switchy mitchy, but I actually am gonna switch brushes because I want like a smaller brush so I can really get in and pack that gray on and make that shape that I like. It's very like wingy and it's very sharp, and
I kind of want that.
so I'm just gonna kind of tuck it into my crease so I can get like a sharp line. And I don't want to take it too far in because I still want it to look kind of like winged out. And I feel like if I take it too far in, then I don't know. You know what? We're going to wing it.
We're gonna wing it.
So you see that? And then I'm going to like, you know, blend it so that the lines are not so harsh. And then I'm going to like, you know, conceal the shade to like cut my crease up and make it look nice and sharp. And I'm going to add some black just to kind of give it, you know, some depth. And I'm starting the black a little bit like behind the gray. No, I'm not taking the black as far in as the gray. And then now I'm just gonna put the smallest bit of black on my blending brush that I was using earlier. And then I'm gonna just like really blend the fuck out of this. And just keep going until you get that sweet spot of blended and smoky, but also like sharp lines. And that's gonna look better when I conceal also. It's gonna take away some of that
bulky clunkiness.
And yeah, I like really pulled that out. Okay, and then I'm just gonna, and I'm not going like excessively above like really too deep in the fold because I like, you know, where like the eyeball is, like I'm not going too close to that because I kind of want my eye to not look so open like wide. I want it to look a little bit more like longer and a little bit more like sultry. So I'm not like really trying to make my eyelid look
super big.
So I'm going a little bit lower than I usually would for a cut crease. And I am for real running out of this concealer, and this is a dark time. It truly is. Crispy wispy. Crispy.
Yup.
Okay, now I've got my lid cut out the way I want it. I'm gonna add a little bit more black like in that like inner, you know, outer corner part just to like, you know, make my eye look still a little bit longer, but not like really in the outline that I did, like all kind of feather it in there, but not too much. And I just like feathered that in with the gray, so that way too it's gonna be sort of more obvious where we're gonna go with our wing liner, because I am gonna do a wing liner. So yeah, we're gonna pray before I do my wing liner though, because God knows that is like my least favorite thing to do. And when I do my wing liner, I want it to kind of like go upwards a little bit because, you know, I'm going for that very cat eye thing. Okay, I got my wing on, and I want to kind of keep it thin on that like inner part of the eye because I want it to look like it's really fanning out. But however, comma, we need the inner corner. It's the holding of the breath for me every time. Okay, and now I'm just going to put over top my concealer because I still didn't set my concealer like a freaking idiot. Like a white, nudie type of shade. Yep. Looks pretty good. And then whatever like leftover black and gray on my little brushy brush, I'm gonna kind of like just lightly smudge underneath my eye just to give my eye like that like smudged black under eye thing. But yeah, I'm gonna do the other eye off camera after I do that. I'm just gonna add this
Smallest bit of black.
back onto this end. And of course, I want some black in my waterline. So I'm just kind of doing this because it's got like silver eyeshadow on it, and I'm just trying to scrape that off. I could sharpen it, but I'd have to sharpen it. Okay, I think it's looking pretty good for mascara and lashes, and of course I forgot my mascara, so I have to go get it. So just like the eyeshadow look, I really want to fan my lashes like outwards so they're very cat-like and very like more like going upwards, like slanted upwards. I like that look for a nice little revenge look. So I'm just gonna wing it out. And you can't really see it too well, but I actually didn't even put mascara on like the inner half of my eye because I really want this to be like going out. And if I put that mascara on the inner parts, it's gonna like round out my eye, which is not what I want. So I'm just gonna kind of keep it on the outer part, and then kind of same for my lower lashes also. I am gonna go in with like a more like spiky kind of lash, and low-key, I should cut it in half, but am I gonna go cut it in half?
Probably not.
Probably just gonna throw the whole thing on my eye, but I really shouldn't. I really should go cut it in half. I really should like cut off like a nice, you know? Okay, I did it. I was committed. Now, hopefully, I actually put these away tonight when I take these off, so I don't think that there are spiders crawling around in my room. Hopefully. We're almost there. I'm totally doing the other eye off camera because...
Oh my gosh.
So I am going a tad bit heavy-handed. We want them to know we're coming. We cannot be looking dull when we're trying to do revenge makeup. Dullness, I rebuke that from your life. Yeah. And a little tiny bit under the brow bone. Just a little bit. Because I'm scared of fucking this up. So we're gonna stop there. I'm just gonna take a little bit. Do my nose. Crazy. I love that so much. Okay, last step, lips. And when we do our lips, we're not gonna overline too much, okay? I know it's tempting. I love like really overlining, but we don't want to look clownish in the slightest. We don't want to look clockable. We want to look
amazing.
We want to look the best that we possibly can, but we don't want to look clockable, okay? Just because we're not going for natural. So I'm just gonna line my lips with like a nude, like a darker nude color, and like you can overline a little bit, you know. I'm not saying to not do it at all, but I'm saying if you're gonna do it, just be very light-handed, because again, you don't want to be clockable. So I went like slightly like under the contour, and I don't overline my like the corners of my lips at all. I just tight, okay? Like that. Okay, so really quick, let's just talk about like the crazy shit that I just buy on TikTok shop all the time, okay? I got this whole little like lip set kit thing, and I believe that this is the real reason why like America wants to ban TikTok, because they know they're just taking all of our money. Like I know TikTok shop, they love it when I get on the app, because they know I'm just gonna be like, here's my money, take everything I've ever worked for. So I'm taking this like darker like nudish color. They're like minis, but it's so cute, and I like minis because sometimes I don't know if I want the whole thing, and they're supposed to be like matte. So I want to go in with like a darker almost plummy-ish shade on like the center, just for kind of like a little bit of like a sort of vampy thing. I don't know, but we'll see if I end up doing that, because I might love this on its own so much that I just don't do that, but I really want to try. So, you know, I always like dot on like the lip color and then I'll just blend with my finger. I feel like it gives it this perfectly undone, pouty, powderish, pillowy, kissable thing. These smell like something, but I can't figure out what. So that's that lip on its own. I think I do want to add like a
Little something in there.
Here's to hoping that I don't destroy this with something. Oh, I feel like that's too pink. No, I want like a little bit more of like a purpley color, but like not like too dark, you know? Okay, yeah, I'm going in with like little, something like this, like a mauvier tone. Let's see if what that does. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this isn't gonna do anything. Okay, low-key it did like nothing, but that's okay, because I didn't want it to ruin it. So this is the final look. I love this look. This is the look that I would most definitely want to run into an
Enemy.
in. And I hope you do this look too. And if you do, I hope you don't hate it.